Well, we are down here at the Nadal Sheba Sports Complex. Alongside me is Sean O'Shea. He is the head of football operations down here. We're keen to learn a little bit more about what is going on down here at Nadal Sheba, but also what Sean does on a day-to-day, week-by-week basis. So Sean, thank you very much for sparing your time.
Very welcome
to talk to me. Let's start with Nadal Sheba, if we can. We've heard all the stories. I hear from numerous individuals that it's one of the top sporting facilities in the world. I guess the first question has to be, is it?
Of course it is, absolutely, yeah. Look, I mean, I've been here for 5 years and it's developed over that sort of period of time, and we've become busy and busy with teams coming through. But the beauty of NAS, you know, for football clubs coming over, first and foremost is always about the quality of the pitches. That's the first question that ever gets asked. But we have a great team here, SAS, who manage the pitches, and they're always in great condition. But then of course it's everything else that comes with that now in football, as you know. So it's the gym that we have, it's the recovery facilities, the medical facilities, all those kind of things for rehab and prehab and conditioning. So it is the best. Look, and it's not us that go and say that. We let other people say that, and the big clubs that have been through, you know, Manchester United with Jose Mourinho, for example, this guy's been all around the world and seen all different facilities, and even he said, you know, when he came in and had a look at it, he was like, wow, you know, I've never seen anything like this. And of course the privacy issue as well. You know, all football clubs want everything to be private, and the beauty of NAS is it is completely private. Nobody can enter this place unless we allow them to. And then further outside NAS, Dubai is a great place to come to. It has all the hotels that the clubs want to stay at, and you know, and it has the weather, which is obviously a big thing as well.
You've already name dropped there, Jose Mourinho, Manchester United, but that gives you, I guess, an idea of the level of clubs. We're talking about some of the elite clubs in world football, Manchester United, Real Madrid. The biggest clubs are coming here, not just coming here once or twice, it's repeat custom. They keep coming back.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Look, and there's a reason for it. Like the weather is a big thing. Look, we know in Europe the weather's not great, so those kind of winter breaks and our second pre-season, like Germany have it really well done, don't they? They have a winter break and they call it pre-season too. But it's a great destination to come to. But you know, look, we have great staff here, we have great facilities, we always try and provide excellence to them, and that's why we get repeat business from clubs, but we also get a lot of requests of clubs that we have to actually turn away because we can only host, you know, so many teams, but it's the most wanted place to train at in the region, without a doubt.
Let's talk about your role specifically, head of football operations. Give us an insight. What is your day-to-day like? What is your role, and how does that kind of help this particular facility?
So for me, head of football operations, I suppose it's exactly what it sounds. It depends on the teams that are training with us or the players that are with us. Obviously the big clubs like Real Madrid, AC Milan, Man United, they're big vehicles, so they don't need help with, you know, the transport or the flights over here or the hotels, and they have a big sort of support staff when they come in. So our role with them is kind of minimal, really. We just kind of set up the pitch or the gym how they want it. They turn up and they do the sessions. Then for maybe the smaller clubs like the Scandinavian teams that come, or teams from China or Korea, where they're not as big as those clubs, we'd get more involved. Like we obviously help them with the travel over here because we have good contacts. We'll help them with the hotels, and we get more involved with setting up the sessions, and even sometimes for me taking part in those sessions with those clubs as well.
Talk to me about the demands that a Manchester United, a Real Madrid place upon you. I would imagine the first word that comes to mind is organisation. Mm-hmm. You need to ensure that you're incredibly organised. From the moment that they come in through that gate, you've got to have everything set for them and ready to go. The
two things, organisation and security, are the two top things. Now, we're very blessed in the fact that security is not an issue because it's a private complex, so that's okay. And the security staff that come with those clubs are always very happy. So for us, the demands aren't that big inside NAS, because facilities are already set up, we have all the equipment and everything that we need, so it's just a case of speaking to the coaching staff and saying, right, look, how does your week look like, what kind of sessions are you doing, what do you want us to do, and they'll send that through to us well in advance, and we just have the staff around to be on hand if they need anything else, but we set it up, they turn up and roll it out.
We've seen other clubs come here, and not to be disrespectful to them, a lesser likes, if you will, lesser lights of the world game, the likes of AIK Stockholm, who are doing so well up in Sweden. We've had Shakhtar Donetsk as well from Ukraine. They are, I guess, clubs that maybe demand a little bit more from you. You're more hands-on with them. Perhaps talk to us about what you do with regards to the smaller clubs when they come.
Well, I think, like I said, it's first of all, when they first come, it's unknown, so they don't really know what they're coming to. But like they don't have 25, 30 members of staff that are going to like take care of everything for them. So there are more demands. It might be that they have players where they say, look, the manager's going to be on the pitch today with this amount of players. Can we take other players over to the gym? And that's where our staff, not just myself, get more engaged. We have strength and conditioning coaches, fitness coaches here. So they would play a more active role. in helping and supporting those clubs when they come in.
That's the clubs. Let's look at the individuals, because another, I guess, feature of this facility and of what the services that you provide, there have been, and I appreciate you've got to keep it on the low down, because I'm sure an awful lot of these players, they don't really need the hassle, they don't need the publicity that they are using the facility. But just to name drop, Virgil van Dijk, Luke Shaw, all individuals, whether it's in rehab or conditioning, who have headed over to work alongside yourself and your staff. Let's get into that if we can. I mean, you said it at the top, you offer everything. It could be rehab, it could be conditioning, it could be just absolutely anything to get away from it all and put in some hard yards. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so that's become a lot more popular over the last few years. I reckon in the last 12 months, or probably 2 years, probably worked with like 15 or 20 players, which has been amazing. They've come from all over the world, and some of the best players that we've ever seen play the game. Now, working with them, part of it's because of the relationships we've built with clubs over the last few years. So we might get a phone call from a club saying, look, we're going to send over a strength and conditioning coach with 2 players for a week. Like say, it might be rehab, it might be conditioning, it might be injury prevention. It might be that they're coming back from a long-term injury and they just want a break from the normal day-to-day in England, where in the winter time it's dark and it's raining and it's cold, you know, and they don't
want to be there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they just want to break the routine and do some training in the heat, really. So yeah, they'll come over, and I'll either assist the staff that come in, because they'll already have a set program from the club, and we kind of just assist in the sessions. But the stuff that I really like doing is when players come on their own, off their own back, or we have a relationship with a club where they have enough trust in me and the staff that are here to say, look, here's a player, this is what we want to do, can you put a program together for them and train them for a period of time? And we've had players from 5 days to 10 days up to 7 weeks. We just finished with one player a few weeks ago, and we had him for 7.5 weeks. And that's great for me as a coach, because obviously it's more hands-on and it's on the pitch, which is obviously where I want to be and doing stuff. And the process of that is, like, you're a football geek, like it's great for me because you really get to get into it. So, first and foremost, you're looking at why they're coming. So the reason, like I said, is it rehab, or is it conditioning, or is it just to keep ticking over? Then we look at the position that they play. So then we have to spend time analysing them, watching YouTube clips of how they play, what their type of game is, what position they are. Do they have any other positions? Do they want to develop areas of the game? And then from that, we'll design specific sessions to how they play out, how they want to play.
And those sessions are designed in-house by you and your team?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we have strength and conditioning coach who will look at the gym program. We have a sports scientist who will do all the data, and then I will design the pitch session. So I get told quite a lot that I just stand around pointing and telling people what to do, which is what it looks like a lot of the time. But it's a lot more in depth than that, and everything's periodised through the week. So we'll do short, sharp sessions, we'll do high intensity sessions, we'll do volume sessions, we'll do technical sessions, tactical sessions, and it's all built through the week, and it's all built around the sports science side of it, I guess, because we don't want to push them too much. We want to make sure that they're fresh each day. So everything's planned very, very carefully, very meticulously, and the results that you see are fantastic. And
I guess in many respects, Sean, your reputation preceding itself, because you look at the volume of players who are now knocking on the door.
Yeah.
It seems to have grown an awful lot, certainly in the time that I've known you, because people are now hearing of the work that you and your team are doing, that they are getting results. It is probably the reason why the phone has been not stopped ringing for players wanting to come here before the start of pre-season in a few weeks. It'd be quite interesting to know a little bit more about yourself and your background. How have you come to here in Nadal Sheba in terms of coaching? I mean, as you say, you're hands-on, you're day-to-day, you're setting the training programmes for some of the world's top players.
I was coaching at Huddersfield Town in England after a stint in Norway, and my brother was actually here, and as they were building the football facilities, they were looking for somebody to come in as head of football, and I take pride in my job. I love coaching, I love football. It's been very good to me over the last however many years. So,
in terms of your own development, what has made you the most proud?
When they leave, people in football talk all the time, and the amount of times a player has left here or a coach has left here from a club in the Premier League, and then I've had an email saying, look, I've been talking to my mate at another club, can they bring a player over? And you're like, yeah, of course they can, yeah. So I think the proudest things are that. I think I'm very proud of the network that I've built in football, and the trust that I have with clubs that I've never dreamed of working with, but I can be in contact with now and have good relationships with. So that makes me feel proud, because I know that I'm doing a good job. The other side of it is the players that we've worked with and the friends that I've built with those players, or the friendship I've built with those players, because they keep coming back.
Yeah.
So that you're doing a good job, and it's not just me. Like I keep saying, it's the team around us. Like we all take pride in what we do, But it does make you feel proud because obviously, you know, you grow up playing the game. I didn't play at a high level, but playing the game, and you look up to these players and you idolise them, and then suddenly you find yourself working with them and on a good social level with them. So you know, it's brilliant, really. Like.
And it's important to say as well that it's not just a jolly over here in Dubai. They're not here to get some sun and to have a holiday. You're working them hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you've got a few of the Bournemouth lads over last week. They're training in 40-degree heat. So, you know, and there's a very fine line between the benefits of heat training and then, you know, killing yourself, heat exhaustion.
Absolutely.
And that's why we've got to be very careful, and that's why you have to plan it meticulously and do it right, pick the right times to train. But yeah,
And what about your development, Sean? Are you always keeping an eye on the latest trends?
Yeah.
The latest, I guess, the new innovations in coaching and trying to maximise the best out of it?
You have to, yeah. Look, you know, like I've done the A licence and I want to go on and do the Pro licence, but you're always reading on different reports of what people are doing, and obviously we spend a lot of time, or I spend a lot of time, watching every single team that comes in, how they set up, how they do the warm-ups, how they set up the sessions, because obviously one of the big things I've learned over the last few years is the culture in football is so different country to country.
Yeah.
You know, like we grew up in the British environment, if you like, and we know what that's all about. But seeing teams from Scandinavia or from Central Europe or from Asia, and then as far as Australia, seeing how they organise themselves is very, very different. So, and even here, like the UAE teams, you know, the culture is so different with football. So you learn a lot, you do see a lot and you learn a lot, which is great. Like it's a great learning experience, but you have to keep up with everything. I'm a big believer in keeping your head down and doing your own job, but also be aware of what's going on. So like the sports science side, I take an interest in because it obviously aids me in what I do on the pitch.
Yeah.
Strength and conditioning side, I find fascinating because it has to link in, and you never really think about it as a player or a coach, but everything has to tie in with the sessions that you're doing. So you're asking the guys, right, why are we doing these exercises? Why are we doing this on this particular day? And then analysis as well, obviously, is a big part of the game. So you have to keep in tune with everything, but again, I always say focus on your own job, be an expert at that, but make sure you bring the other people in around to support you.
What do you get most enjoyment out of? Is it that analysis of teams from afar, and in some cases you're a little up close and personal and helping them out with more hands-on, or is it the day-to-day working with individual players? Because
it has to be. I've been on the pitch. Like I'm not the happiest I can be is on a pitch coaching. It's great, like designing the sessions and coming in every morning with a player, doing the sessions with him, having a bit of banter, but seeing the progress as well.
And coming back to it, in some cases that is you tailoring it alongside an employee of that club, or in some cases it literally is the player and his agent coming to you and saying, Sean, we've heard good things, we want you to devise the programme that can then help them move forward.
Exactly, yeah. It all varies. Every single player that comes in, is the whole scenario is different. It can be, if we have a good relationship with the club, they hand it over to us and say, there you go. If the player is unattached and it's the agent, there you go, take it on. This is the kind of results we want, but we'll leave it to you to design. And
then feedback moving forward then, once the player returns to that club, what's the relationship like then?
Well, it's just continuous, I suppose. Look, we've had it in the past where they go back to the club and we just stay in touch with them, whether it's email or WhatsApp or whatever, and just check in on them, how they're doing, how's it going. You know, and we'll always get emails back saying, look, thanks for the time we had last week, it was really beneficial, the player's doing really well, looks good, feels good, hopefully back in the squad next week. So we have continuous communication with all the clubs, which is good, yeah.
And then in terms of your own development, I mean, what's next, or one day in the future? I mean, where do you see yourself?
In terms of personal development, the Pro licence is the next one, which hopefully I'll start this year. I'm going to get onto that. In terms of role, this is the busiest I've ever been at NAS, like in the 5 years I've been here. It just grows and grows and grows, and we're doing more and more and more. And, you know, like we said before we were talking, coming here every day to work is absolutely unbelievable. Like, so why would you want to be anywhere else? You know, like working with all these different teams and players, everything that I've learned from what I've seen and what I've done has been, well, you can't put a price on it really. But I mean, I suppose who knows really. Look, I've always been involved in football, you know, whether it's been playing or coaching. I do miss the club environment because sometimes you do have quiet times here. Good. So you do miss that club environment. But I love the job here. I love, you know, working here. We're supported very well. We're encouraged all the time to go on and develop and do better. So for the moment, I'm happy staying here. Like, why would I want to leave this place or Dubai as a country? Like, you know, we both love living here.
Yeah, it's something.
But I suppose down the road in the future, yeah, look, I suppose I see myself at a club eventually. I don't know if I'm going to be here forever. I don't think any of us are going to be here forever, are we? So I would hope to be at a club coaching. I don't think I see myself as a first team manager. I think you've got to be quite isolated and stuff, and you know what I'm like, I like to be in and amongst it and stuff, you know. So
social butterfly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think for me, I'd love to work with the first team, whether it's assistant coach or just as a first team coach. That's kind of where I see myself down the line, but for the foreseeable future, I can't see myself anywhere.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future, is continuing to get the biggest clubs and the biggest names.
Exactly.
Sheba. It is an incredible facility. What a job you're doing, Sean. You and your team. Keep up the good work. We look forward to seeing some more big teams over here and making use of this incredible facility. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.